So I think we were doing chapter 17, isn't it? Chapter 17, verse 16. Who is that? What? One second. क्या लिखा है? 15. 17, no? Chapter 17, verse 15. 15, I think we did 15, isn't it?
No, we have to do from 16.
We have to do from 16, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Cheerfulness of mind, placidity, habit of contemplation on God, control of the mind, and the perfect purity of inner being, inner feelings. All this is called the austerity of the mind. One of the most dangerous things to actually control. Cheerfulness of mind. I mean, our mind is cheerful, I think 10% of the time, 90% of the time we are always in tension. ये क्यों नहीं हुआ, वो क्यों नहीं हुआ, वो हो रहा है, वो ऐसा हो रहा है, वैसा हो रहा है. The cheerfulness will only come when we are, maybe when we are seeing a movie and enjoying a scene or doing something which is exciting. But the cheerfulness of mind is a very, very minor thing in our world. We don't have the cheerfulness. But Krishna is saying over here, for the austerity of the mind, we need to maintain the cheerfulness. You need to have a very cheerful disposition of the mind. Always we are seeing the downside of life. Every time when a person looks at anything, he is only looking at the downside of life. He is never looking at what is the upside. So only when you look at the upside in life that you will find that life will be very beautiful and cheerful. Placidity. Again, placidity is another term which is very difficult to have in life. Placidity means stillness. We should not have movement of the mind at all. The mind should be very steady. It should be placid, like water which is not moving at all. That means it should be sthir. Padma is asking, isn't that an inborn thing, cheerfulness of the mind? The child when he is born is the most uncheerful person on earth because he is given one tight slap when he comes out. And he starts with a cry rather than the cheerfulness. The innocence is what? Innocence of the mind is what will make us cheerful. See, when we are innocent in nature, what happens to us is a person becomes very cheerful. He doesn't have any hang-ups about anything. Okay, now somebody else has come. Is it? One minute, huh? Okay. So the thing is, the cheerfulness comes from, yes, you can say from innocence. A person may be innocent he has a very innocent outlook in life, and then he can become very cheerful. But again, a child he gets knotted up when what happens is somebody takes his chocolate away or somebody takes his toy away, he gets into a fight or he gets very angry. So that is a very difficult thing for a person to have cheerfulness. Again, when the world is collapsing right around us, right around us, the whole thing is collapsing. अच्छा हो रहा है, सब डूब रहा है. We can't say those words also. You can't be cheerful when everything is falling down. So the cheerfulness comes from very important thing which is called innocence. You have to look at everything at its, as if it is the most wonderful thing. But then to see everything going down, everything happening in the reverse direction, we cannot be cheerful. But to be austere, to have this austerity in mind, you need to be cheerful. 99% of the time we are always going to see the downside of life. Try to look at the upside of life. You have to always see upside of life. The upside is like Shahid Kapoor says, boss, अब एकदम नीचे तक पहुंच गए हैं ना, we have reached the rock bottom, and there is no chance of it going further bottom than that, because we have reached the absolute rock bottom. Now the only way up, the only way out is up. So let us try to go up. I mean, that's that very beautiful film, like Jab We Met. In that, when he's addressing his shareholders, he says the company has reached rock bottom. Now the only way out is to look up. So when you have seen the whole downside of life, your entire life, why not see the upside? And that upside will definitely pull you out of this and make you cheerful. Then he says placidity, the peacefulness, the calmness, the tranquility, the steadiness of the mind will come if there is no disturbance in it. What is the disturbance that keeps on happening to a human being? The disturbance is because the mind is always running like a monkey. He's coming, going from here to there, to there, to there, to there, everywhere. So if we are able to stop this monkey mind in the track, how can you do it? When you can understand what the mind is going to do next, if you can actually see through the play of the mind, you will find that you will be able to stop the mind. We have a pattern in our life. If you have seen, the pattern is always set. Abhi samjho, the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law scenario. The mother-in-law daughter-in-law scenario is every day going to be whether it's you cannot even say कि आज है ना अच्छा होने वाला है, और दोनों एक दूसरे को मर्डर करने पे निकलते हैं. They are always out to fight with each other. Then why are we trying to even stop the fight? Let it be. You can see that happening every single day of life. Then why are you getting so het up about it? Again, in our life, every day now children will go to school. Okay, one day they will come with a black eye, the second day their bags are torn, the third day their shirts are all over the place, everything is broken. The shoes which you have just bought last week have become dirtier than the dirtiest black color. It's a white shoe, by the way. And you have bought him a big nice football, and the football has been punctured with holes. If you open his compass box, the compass box make a 50% of the things are missing, and you will say, yesterday only I got you a new compass box, and now you can't say these words that you don't know about it. So your mind, you can even stop in the tracks. You know very well how mind is going to go in which direction. So can you stop it in the track and say, okay, now I know what you're doing. Yes, be a witness. So you know what you're doing, and you can say to the mind, okay, stop it. I know what you're going to do next. इसके बाद तुमको गुस्सा आने वाला है. इसके बाद तुम है ना नटराज के जैसे है ना नाच करोगे. ओके, सब तांडव करोगे, ये करो. उससे अच्छा छोड़ो ना, जाने दो. Then you will have this peacefulness in the mind. Habit of contemplation on God. गाली भी देने का है तो सब अल्लाह की मर्जी. I mean, भगवान ने किया सब. सब बुरा होता है वो भी वही करता है, अच्छा होता है वो भी वही करता है. You remember that story? सब राम की कृपा से. In that, when the fellow goes to jail also, he says सब राम की कृपा से. So why not just have this, maybe it's like how every sentence of ours, earlier it used to start with an F, now it starts with an S. Okay, earlier and now it is, oh shit, what happened? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. We punctuated. In my school we used to say Jesus. Jesus, this happened, Jesus. Okay, at least we were taking Jesus' name. So what here it says is, can we take God's name even in that way? Does not matter. Okay, that is why you will find that if you meet some of these old timers, they will Ram 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 Ram, Shiva 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 Shiva. If you meet these old timers, they have this habit of saying this. So the word, if you actually translate it in it, it will say, oh my god, oh damn it, yeah, come on man, like that. Shiva, 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 like that. So every Shiva means different word. Every Shiva has got a different connotation and a meaning. So he says over here ki, okay, your mind is upset, I know, but can you take God's name? Even in the worst of the circumstances, can you just take his name? That's it. And then he says, control of the mind and perfect purity of inner feelings. Control of the mind. The mind is like a wild horse. First you got to rein it. Rein it, bridle it. उसके ऊपर फिर बैठ के ना उसको अच्छे से दौड़ाना पड़ता है. So how do you do it? First and foremost, the mind is wild. He doesn't know where to go. So you got to lead him. Have you ever seen the goats and the sheep which go out for grazing? There is a dog who leads those goats and the sheep. Okay? The dog will keep on, go this side, go this side, go this side, like that, that is why he's called the sheep dog. Okay, or maybe a goat dog, I don't know. But a sheep dog, yes. And this dog trains the sheep in going in a particular direction. So what you got to do is you have to understand the mind's way of working. It's a little bit of extra, pressure on you, but you can definitely understand how your mind is going to work. Okay, in most of our lives, we have told our parents, you got diabetes, don't eat sugar. You will find your mother or father who is a diabetic, quietly 1 spoon of sugar. I told you not to drink that. No, but it's only 1 spoon. What 1 spoon is going to do? It's not about 1 spoon. It is not the sugar in that SUG. Oh, sugar nahi. All the potatoes, these, that, all the things that you eat is containing sugar in it. You try explaining to them all these, complicated formulas that carbohydrate is equal to C, H and O in the formation of this is glucose and this is fructose. एक चमचा शुगर क्या खाया और तूने मेरे को पूरा साइंस सिखाया. So when you know this very well, remove that dabba and keep it away. Okay, next time when they are around, keep sugar free in front of them. अच्छा शक्कर ही खाने का नहीं, ये खा, गंदा है वो. अरे लेकिन ये खा सकते हो. And the amazing thing is what, that we have this right from our childhood. Out of sight is out of mind. So now let us say, for example, you are used to eating, suppose a particular thing. Every now and then you go to the kitchen ting, every now and then you eat something. We have some very special item in our kitchens and hidden somewhere. And every few moments, ting karke apna muh mein jata hai. Okay, one day you hide it so that you can forget about it. Alright, if you hide that item and you forget about it, good afternoon, Kalpana. So if you hide that item, if it is not there in front of you, you are not even going to go and eat it. So if you are not going to go and eat it, then it's not going to cause you misery. So here we need to understand the control of mind can be done this way. That which irritates you, keep it away from the mind. Doesn't mean that you don't face the situation. It means this, that yes, there are certain things in life which are the irritating things in our life. You have the, it's like in school. As a child, you go and irritate one teacher so much, good afternoon teacher, good evening teacher, good night teacher. A teacher wants to throttle you, what the murder karne ka hai tumko. And we are so used to it, like my principal, my headmistress was there, you know. So everybody would stand behind some pole or something like that, and okay, we used to all call her that. And you know, one day there was a very funny situation. The situation was I was going with my mother to my grandmother's place, and she used to stay in the same place called Bandra. She was going inside the railway platform, and I was coming outside the railway platform. The moment I came out with my mother, I saw, hey, Bokri hai! And she heard it. You can imagine, you know, her name was something else, and the moment I said it, she gave me such a. So we are like that. So out of sight, out of mind. Now that incident has happened many years ago. But after that day, I doubt it. After I left my school, I hardly remember calling her by that name. So many a times we have to take away the object in front of us, which is the irritating factor in our life. It is like suppose you have a habit of eating pan, parag, pan masala type of things. You know, many a times you have this gutka, pan para, all these stuffs that are there. So much ऐसा करके है ना मुंह में डालते हैं, देखा है? In India you must have seen. But if you don't have it in front of you, how will you eat it? So most of the time, this is the very simple method of taking the things out of your way. So remove the things which are irritating you in front of from your mind. सबसे पहले तो वो. The controlling of the mind happens because we have irritants in our life. Okay? You know very well that there are certain people in your world, they come only to light the fire and go away. Some aunt, some uncle, वो हम लोग उसको बोलते हैं उंगली करने को आते हैं. You understand? When everything is going on fine, this person will naturally step in and अच्छा तुम्हारी शादी नहीं हुई अभी तक. और वो भी बराबर जब ये पेरेंट्स के साथ हम लोग अच्छे से बैठ रहे हैं तभी आके ये क्वेश्चन जरूर पूछने का है, तुम्हारी शादी नहीं हुई, लास्ट टाइम तुम उस लड़की को. And you feel like just bashing that fellow upwards. So these type of people also you need to keep them away. Stay out of the reach. Again, you know very well that there are certain things which are going to cause you misery. So mind has not, you know, it is needs to lock onto something. It's like a hook, you know, it hooks onto some object and then it goes on the spin. So, and it uses the five senses. Remember, we have done this before. It uses the five senses to lock onto different objects. So if you can control the senses, then you will be able to control the mind as well. So mind control is possible if you don't go in that direction, if you try to avoid those dangerous stuff, if you can stay away from people who are irritating, you can put your mind in God, then the mind is going to become placid. It is definitely going to come under control someday. There is one thing which happens to most of the people. You know, we take this, I am not going to get angry, I am not going to get angry, I am not going to get angry. ऐसा बोल बोल के आदमी है ना क्या करता है मालूम है? He bottles up. And the person bottles up, and one fine day there is a big boom noise over there, and then the whole thing erupts into something very nasty. So it is better to, you know, if you have filled air in your tires, no, that fellow, he puts that टायर में हवा डालने वाला, अभी 33 पॉइंट्स डालने का रहेगा, वो 36 तक मतलब थोड़ा सा निकाल के 33 तक लाता है. So sometimes we have to let go that air also from our mind. Sometimes, yes. That doesn't mean you keep crockery around you and every time something happens, dumb. Something happened, dumb. Crockery का बिल बढ़ेगा. और वॉलमार्ट का धंधा अच्छा होएगा. So perfect purity of inner feelings. The inner feelings always need to be very, very pure. The purity of the feelings means we always have some ill feelings about things around us and people and circumstances around us. And that stems from the fact which is called fear. We are afraid many a times in our life. And so it puts a lot of pressure on us. And that is where our mind goes for a toss. But it is always said the fear of the unknown is what causes us the misery the most. जब भी किसी लड़की की शादी नहीं हो रही, मेरी शादी नहीं हो रही, मेरी शादी नहीं हो रही, मेरी शादी कब होगी, कब होगी, कब होगी, कब होगी, that is going on. Again, like these are stupid circumstances. जब होगी तब होगी, but a person has no patience. So first is the fear factor, second is called patience. We don't have patience in anything. Everything happens at the right moment and at the right time, isn't it? So many a times we need patience. Many a times we have to allow that flower to bloom properly. Many a times we have to, wait for the sunrise to happen so that you can see the daylight in the daylight. So all these things comprise the austerity of the mind. The purity, the austerity, the cleanliness, all these things are a part and parcel of that. This threefold penance performed with supreme faith by yogis expecting no return is called sattvic. These penance, this kind of penance that was done over here, what is the penance that we did? Three penances that we did: penance of body, penance of speech, and austerity of the mind. These three things have we done or no? Did you get it? Penance of the body. We did worshipping the gods, the brahmanas, one's guru, elder and great souls, purity, straightforwardness, continence, and non-violence. This was the penance of the body. The second one was no annoyance to others, truthful, agreeable, beneficial, study of these scriptures, practice in chanting the divine name. This will give penance of speech. And the third one is the austerity of the mind, which is called cheerfulness of mind, placidity, habit of contemplation on God, control of the mind, perfect purity of inner feeling. This is called austerity of the mind. All these three things put together makes a person sattvic in nature. Okay? So a yogi who is sattvic will always have these type of penances performed and with faith. A yogi, the one who is interested in union with God. Okay? So the union with God of the sattvic kind happens in these three penances that are possible for us to do. And I think most of us can attempt all this. Okay? The austerity which is performed for the sake of renown, honor, or adoration, as well as for any other selfish gain, either in all sincerity or by way of ostentation, and yields an uncertain and a momentary fruit, has been spoken of here as Rajasika. Now, when a person performs austerity, what is the meaning of the word austerity? Let us say, for example, there is a wedding in the family. Now, we are definitely going to plan for the wedding or no? How many months or days in advance they do the planning? Patrika, to print the invitation cards, to get the hall. How much time does it take for a hall to be selected? And then लड़की के तरफ का, लड़के के तरफ का, इतनी साड़ियां देना है, उतना सूट पीस देना है. Oh my God, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And then हल्दी. सेंथिल हुआ कि नहीं? हाँ, कितना प्लानिंग लगता है. Imagine करो. And then the most important factor over there is called vitamin M, Muni. First you got to arrange for the money. The hall वाले को लाख रुपया देने का रहता है, एक दिन का 1 लाख रुपया. Imagine such a big amount just for two bakras to go Bali. You require one big hall. Okay, 1 lakh you got to first pay that fellow, and he is going to, okay, and that guy is also very smart. You know what he tells you? मेरे पास caterer है, flower decoration fellow है. have you all done this wedding planning? No? Okay, now I'll tell you in case. सबसे पहला तो एक तो हॉल, उसके बाद खाने का. वो पहला पूछेगा कितना लोग आने वाला है खाने को. अच्छा, वेजिटेरियन के नॉन वेजिटेरियन. अच्छा, कितना टाइप का थाली मांगता है. एंड देन ही इज गोइंग टू गिव यू वन बिग लिस्ट ऑफ स्टफ. ओके, देन फ्लावर्स. Then you have to give. Okay, the hall does not come with the chairs and those fancy stuff over there. You have to order that also. Oh, I thought halls always came with 300-400 chairs. I'm not talking about those chairs. You see those big chairs on those two balika bakras going to sit. Yes, you want with the golden this thing handle, they cost so much. If you want, okay, on the dais you want 15 chairs, okay, so much. Okay, behind that you want this decoration, that. You should, your if the hair which is white will become bald and the one which is black will become white. By the time the parents have fully decided on all these things, parents or whoever is going to decide. And think about it, the amount of planning that goes backward. सबसे पहले तो ढूंढने का, लड़का लड़की को ढूंढने का. उसके बाद माताफोड़ी करके वो डेट फिक्स करना. फिर एंगेजमेंट के बाद शादी का डेट. इट्स लाइक अ लॉन्ग टर्म स्ट्रेटेजी एंड अ प्लान, culminating in a ostentatious and a showy piece. It's all about ostentations. The person who comes to the wedding hall will first say, अच्छा ये साड़ी किधर से लिया, ये किधर से लिया, ये तुम लोगों ने लास्ट टाइम पहना नहीं था. I mean, they come over there just to look at each other's gold jewelry and all the fancy stuff that everybody is carrying, and then they will look at the presents which are coming in. अच्छा छोटा सा present है, छोटा सा दिखता है. अच्छा उसने अच्छा, oh okay, he's put it in an envelope and bringing. Okay, must be few 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500. उससे ज़्यादा उसकी औकात नहीं है. Okay, I mean, these are all the stories. It's all about show. The girl's parents want to make a big show of it. The boy's parents want to make a bigger show of it. Are taking the money from the girl's parents, of course. So this is how our culture is. And what kind of, I'm sure in the United States also, where you all are staying, you should go to a wedding planner to understand the amount of intricacies that are there. Cake, 7-tiered cake. I want this dancing couple on top. Hello, karlo baat. And the gown, 5 fitting sessions, 6 fitting sessions, 8 fitting sessions. Pata nahi kitne sari fitting sessions. That gown is worn only once, by the way. Okay. And even the those girls who are there behind catching that train, they are also wearing that white for the first time. After that they have outgrown it for the next wedding, so they require some more fancy stuff for the next wedding. और फिर उनका भी कटने को आता है जब भी वो बड़ा गाउन पहनेंगे. So it's a big business out there, and the amount of ostentations is amazing. Even for funerals, you need to have a limo, a black color limo. Everybody should be suited, booted. Everybody should go with invites. Okay. And then, you have that, what you call that? The where everybody gives a speech. It is called something. I've forgotten the name. The wake. In the wake, you are supposed to go over there, and then you are to be dressed in a particular way. It's all a show. अरे कोई मर गया है यार, उसको शो करने का क्या जरूरी है? But we have this. So where is the question of austerity in all these things? There is no austerity anywhere. All this is Rajasic in nature. I gave you some 3 different examples, and all the 3 examples are Rajasic in nature. So why are we doing it? We do this type of things for renown. Oh, when her husband died, very nice way. 50 people came. Nice speech. And okay, the wine was from France. अल्ले वो किधर से था, क्या करने का था, कौन सा चीज दिया, वो भी सब बोलना पड़ता है. कोई जरूरी नहीं. Perform for the sake of renown, honor or adoration. What is done for the sake of adoration? We even go to the temple or church so that we can be proud. We are wearing good clothes, and then in many of the temples you will find that the Yajamana is walking like that. Big fat fellow is walking with his fat wife and some 2-3 people with him, and they are carrying huge har and everything with them, big thalis, and there is one temple priest also walking with them. It's nothing but a show. You think God is going to come out and watch them? God बोलता है पागल लोग आ रहे हैं मेरे को मिलने को. ठीक है, उनके लिए मेरे को खड़ा रहना पड़ता है. अच्छा आजा आजा आजा. And that God is bored, because he has seen these type of idiots coming every day. Because one goes, another comes, one goes, another comes. It's like a musical chairs over there. And it keeps on happening time and again. And everybody wants to show how rich they are, how achieved, they have done achievements and stuff like that. For as well as other selfish gains. And all this is done because they are selfish gains. Somebody wants a contract with the government for some fancy stuff. Somebody wants to, start a movie. Somebody else wants to do something else. They have started one, they are going to dig for the first digging they are going to do for laying a foundation stone to the big society that they are building. I mean, the building complex. And all that is austerity only. No. It is stupidity. So, this is done basically for selfish gain. There is no austerity there. There is no penance being performed. What they are doing is shosha, big. And it is done for selfish gain, either in all sincerity or by way of ostentations. Sincerity, please God give me good rank, please God give me good rank, I am going to give you 10 kilos of pedas. Yeah. You can do that type of puja also. It's a very funny thing, but we do this. I am going to get this from that place to give it to you. Or it may be 50 kilometers away. From there you are going to buy some stuff and then you are going to come and give to this God over here. These type of things we have done in our world also. Yeah, you have gone to that level of even lagaving, Amul butter to God. I am not going to give cheap diya bati. I am going to buy it from some fancy place. Maybe from China, made in China.
The cheapest of all.
That may be the cheapest of all, but it is better than the Indian local stuff. Yeah, at least those agarbattis, those diya batis will burn for some time. ये इधर लगाएगा तो पूरा टेम्पल जल जाएगा इंडिया का. So, and yields an uncertain and a momentary fruit has been spoken of as Rajasic. All these leads us to very minute time, chota time of momentary benefits. It comes only for this lifetime, only for that particular moment, because वो God का मीटर डाउन है ऑलरेडी. बोला एक पिक्चर हिट हो गया तो नेक्स्ट पिक्चर के लिए जरूर आएगा मेरे पास. चलो नेक्स्ट टाइम, अभी एक टाइम 1 लाख रुपए दिया, नेक्स्ट टाइम 5 लाख देगा, पता है वो भी हिट किया तो नेक्स्ट टाइम 10 देगा, वो उसका मीटर डाउन है। और उधर का पंडित जी भी बहुत शाना, वो भी ऑलरेडी वो कादर खान टाइप का आदमी है, बोला आ गया। आई रिमेम्बर वन फिल्म वेयर Batuknath Lallan Prasad, you know, and it was a film by Shri Devi, double role. I don't remember the name.
Chalbaz.
Chalbaz. Wonderful film, you should watch it. Chalbaz. And this guy is there, you know, and he keeps on conning every person who comes over there. So it's like that. And this guy is also ready for it. You know, they are ready. Next time, next round में बड़ा लेके आएगा. So that kind is called Rajasic in nature. Penance which is resorted to out of foolish obstinacy and is accomplished by self-mortification and is intended to harm others, such penance has been declared as tamasic. See, we all do tamasic also, by the way. Penance. You know what? God, उसका पैर टूट जाए, उसका दांत टूट जाए. हम लोग बचपन में we used to go to God and tell him, you know, that fellow beat me up, you know, you beat him up. So such type of penance which is done by us, that is for the sake of putting somebody down, and that is foolish obstinacy. We are very foolish. No, you know, many a times you will find that the kind of foolish obstinacy that a person has, you tell them, no, just some silly thing that they want to do. You know, have you seen outside the temple people keep on rolling all over the place? I don't know what they call it. Anga Pradarshana, something like that. Oh, that they go round. Oh, municipal corporation का काम करते हैं वो लोग. They are cleaning the whole place up. And that is the stupid obstinacy these people have. I don't know what they get out of rolling all over the temple. Again, you will find that somebody does that namaskar from one end of the world to the other end of the world. What is it going to give you? And this is tamasic in nature. It is self-mortification. You are doing this for self-mortification, isn't it? And that fruit that you want out of self-mortification is tamasic in nature. A gift which is bestowed with a sense of duty on one from whom no return is expected as appropriate time and place, and to a deserving person, that gift have been declared as sattvic. When you give from the bottom of your heart without any expectation, no expectation out of that person returning it, or no expectation that that person is ever going to repay you back in double the amount, you are not doing any transaction over there. You are just giving for the sake of giving. That means what? I give from the bottom of my heart. You can just take this, but I am not expecting you to give it back or return it back to me. That kind of gift is of a sattvic kind, a gift which is bestowed with a sense of duty. That means it is important that you should feel, you know, it is my duty that I got to do this. Sometimes we have to do this, like, you know, the elder brother gives the younger brother. Okay, or where it's a time when we have to spread joy in this world. That which is done with a sense of duty on one from whom no return is expected. There is no return. Please, if you expect any return, you are basically doing a transaction. It is Rajasic kind. Here, no expectation. No, please don't expect anything out of this. And it is done at the right time. वो मरने के बाद उसको करेंगे तो क्या फायदा? ठीक है ना? अभी वो पानी पूछ रहा है और मैं और उसको बोलता हूँ, यू नो, ओके यू वेट, आई विल गो एंड गेट वन बिस्लेरी का बॉटली. अब बाजू में दूसरा पानी पड़ा है, वो पिला देने का, उसके बजाय बिस्लेरी का बॉटल लेने को गए भाई साहब, तभी तक वो आदमी मर जाएगा उधर. No, you have to do it at the appropriate time. Everything has to be done perfectly at the right time. If you think you are going to do something at a time future, in the future, the world itself may not be there. What is the point in doing something in the future? So some people will say, na, okay, I will do it in the future for you. Nobody does anything in the future because nobody has seen the future. It has to be done right here and right now. So whatever kind of gift that is to be given has to be done at appropriate time and place. Place is also very important. Okay, why is the place very important? Many a times what we do is we go to a place and after eating the food, a restaurant, while we are leaving, we leave a tip. Suppose you have spent 400 rupees and you have left a tip of 20 rupees. Okay, do you think that that waiter is going to remember you? No. You may say that that tip was given by you. You know that 20 rupees tip is going to go into a big kitty over there, and then the steward, the main person over there takes more than 50 or 60% out of that. Whereas he has not come and served you. He has not come to your table even to take your order. Nothing. He has not done anything. So, to give a person at the right time, the right place is very, very important. And we have to be gracious about it. Gracious means, can I offer this before time? Can I do this job for this particular reason before that and before the destination is reached? It helps. Think about it. When we send our parents by air and we want a wheelchair, and the wheelchair is not available when they reach over there, you know how much of trouble you can go through? But if you have thought it out nicely, and if you have ensured that the chair is available, and at every airport or port of call, there is a person waiting with the wheelchair, it is going to help. And at the exact time and at the exact place. Otherwise, what is the point? So you understand, a gift has to be very, very much given in the right time and the right place. Not before or after or something like that, where it has no value. And to the deserving person. Who is a deserving person? A person who is not himself capable of creating it. You understand this? The person has incapability. See, we want to give a person who is already reached something, you know what is he going to do? He's going to take it and put it aside. What is the point? When we go to a rich man's house and we can go with a very big present thinking that, oh my God, you know, I'm giving this. That person is not even going to look at it. He's just going to pick it up and keep it in some corner somewhere. Nobody knows where he has kept it. But if it is a poor man, he is not able to afford that thing, and you give that thing to him. You know, in my life, when I got married, everybody gave me some thali, bili, ye, wo pata nahi kya diya. I think you normally end up having 20 cookers and something and God knows all those type of things which you never even use, and plastic ka dabbe pe dabba, and finally you get so fed up and you wonder, where am I going to keep all this stuff? I don't know. There was one person who gave me 2 chadar, you understand, kambal. 25-30 years later also I was still using it. And every time, that item might not have cost 80 rupees or 70 rupees also at that time, by the way. But every time when I used it, I used to remember that person. I didn't have it. We didn't have a house. So even to buy a chadar was the most difficult thing in the world. So for us, when we used to take that, we would always remember and thank the person who has given us. So an appropriate thing has to be done at the appropriate time and the place. Please remember this. And is to be given to a deserving person. जिसके पास चद्दर का फैक्ट्री है उसको चद्दर देगा क्या फायदा? समझ में आया? So you have to give to a person who is actually deserving. Such a type of a gift is called sattvic in nature. The gift which is bestowed with a grudging spirit. उसने दिया तो मेरे को भी देना पड़ता है. Have you seen this? If others are giving, you also need to give. If that kind of gift is there with the object of getting a service in return or in the hope of obtaining a reward, it is called rajasic. Sudama went with those ovas, beaten rice, but he was not able to give Krishna. He opened the potli and Krishna ate only few grains from it. That's it. And he packed it up. He couldn't open his mouth that I want a very big flat or something like that. No. And he walked away from there. And Krishna had taken just 2 or 3 grains of it. And he gave him an entire palace with servants and everything like that. So please remember, the gift has to be appropriate. But if you are going to give a king a particular gift which has no value for him, no use. Or if you give grudgingly, just because, I'm sure this is a part and parcel of our world. Somebody is leaving the office. Hey, I want $20. Hey, I want $20. You really want to give those $20? What is this here? That fellow is leaving and I have to give $20. It is not grudgingly. So anything that is bestowed grudgingly or with a with service in return, जैसा बॉस का घर में जाके उसका चपरासी गिरी करके तो बॉस तुमको है ना अच्छा रेटिंग देगा, वो अगर करने का रहेगा, that is done for rajasic purpose. That is not a gift. That is with the hope of obtaining a reward, and that is rajasic in nature. A gift which is made without good grace and with a disdainful spirit, out of time and place, and to undeserving person, it is said to be tamasic in nature. Some gift you do. Gifting. What kind of gifting does a person do which is tamasic in nature? It means like, you are giving a kangi to a bald man. What is the point of giving a gift to a person who is not having hair? That is tamasic. Don't you understand? This is a kind of gift which is tamasic, absolutely of no value. Okay. Somebody came and gave me a choir mat to sit for meditation. I looked at that person and I said, okay, keep it. 1 year later, I told the person, you want to give a choir mat? Don't give, please. I hate that bloody thing. Okay? Given it with love. First, I don't sit for meditation. Second, I don't want choir mats. They poke my ass. Better not give them to me. So I told the person, again, last few days ago, I don't want your choir mats. Okay? And please don't go and buy from some silly stupid place. For the same choir mat which I would have paid some 50 rupees or 100 rupees, he's gone and paid 800 bucks. For what, I don't know. Because it came from a fancy location. It's a tamasic kind of a gift. Even if it is meant for the purpose of sitting for some... And don't try yogasana on this type of mats, by the way. Yeah. Because for yogasana, you need comfortable mats. made in China will do. Those people are outselling us in all these fields, okay? So, again, the gift has to be given in time. Remember the sattvic kind. Here, this tamasic fellow, the tamasic kind of gift is given. वो शादी का गिफ्ट जब भी बच्चा उसको 2-3 बच्चा हो गया है उसके बाद उसको शादी का गिफ्ट जाके देता है. सोचो यार क्या पागल आदमी है. No point. Again, sometimes we give a gift. Like I have seen, somebody will say, can you get me a sari? I say, okay, fine, I'll get you a sari. तभी मेरे को पूछना पड़ता है, जिंदगी में कभी साड़ी पहना नहीं है, साड़ी क्यों मांगता है? I just want to have one. What is the point in having a sari, one also, when you are never going to wear it? It is like you want to keep it as a showpiece somewhere? No. It is important that it has to be given at the right time, to the right place, and a deserving person. Who is a deserving person? A person who doesn't have that object, correct? Cannot afford it, deserves it, genuinely deserves it. It has to be given at the appropriate time, and the place has to be perfect. Then it is called a deserving gift or a sattvic kind. But everything which is viparit of this, completely reverse of this, has no value. It's a tamasic kind. So never give such type of gifts which are tamasic in nature. Om, Tat and Sat. This may be declared as the triple appellations of Brahma, who is truth, consciousness and bliss. By that were the Brahmanas and the Vedas as well as sacrifices created at the cosmic dawn. This is the word which is used in most of the books at the end. Padma has written collectibles. When she wrote, I don't remember. Yeah, collectibles. Okay, collectibles, I understand, Padma. But the thing is, you wear a sari. But somebody who doesn't wear a sari, अभी ब्रिटो को साड़ी दिया तो वो क्या करेगा? बोलेगा मैं जब शादी करूंगा तभी मैं मेरी बीवी को पहनाऊंगा. What is the point in giving him a sari? You can't give him a lungi also. He wears short pants all the time. So you understand and think about it. I give him a discount coupon, $10 discount coupon, redeemable at the nearest hair cutting salon. What is the point in giving it to Brito? He's anyway not going to cut his hair. So, no point. 1 month ka, 30 days ka. There's no point. So, Om Tat Sat has been declared as triple appellations of Brahma. These are very, very important words, In most of the books, it ends as Om Tat Sat. These Brahma is represented by these words. Representation of the Brahma happens from these words. See, I will not dwell on these words for very long because Om would take one whole year to explain, Tat would take another year to explain, and Sat would take another year to explain. So we are going to do it in short and sweet way. Om Tat Sat. Truth, consciousness and bliss. These are the three things which is basically also translated as Sat Chit Ananda. Okay? Brahma is the supreme divine consciousness in the unmanifest form. From that comes the manifest, isn't it? So that appellation, that which comes out of it, is described in these three ways as Om, Tat and Sat. These appellations, now the English translation is not correct, so but we have to let it be because there are no words in English for that. Omkara. We have done the Omkara part in our many satsangs before. How does the Om look like? So I don't think that there is a time for this. So, but still, that which comes out of the Brahma in the form of a waves, in the form of a pattern, in the form of an energy, in the form of the unmanifest to manifest, as if creating a form, as if creating a form. It starts with the word Om. That is why everything begins in the word Om. All these words are basically full of truth because there is no falsehood anywhere. There is nothing which is definable by words. Brahma can never be defined by words. It is only for us to experience the blissful state of the Brahma. We cannot use words over here. That's why I said none of these words are ever going to give us the complete satisfaction of understanding it. So, the Supreme Divine Consciousness we have already discussed many times, but if you understand, I know. I know. What is that? I know. When you know, can you describe? No, I can't describe. Again, we are using the same words. Can you describe? No. But you know? Yes, I know. Have you felt it? Yes. Have you experienced it? Yes. Can you tell me about it? No. That is consciousness. Okay? Cannot be described. You have to feel it, you have to experience it, you have to go through it, you have to be a part of it. You are already a part of it, yet you don't know about it because of the layers and layers of ignorance that is there with us. By that were the Brahmanas and the Vedas as well as the sacrifices created at the cosmic dawn. Everything started from this. Remember, I told you, from the unmanifest comes the manifest. And from there onwards, all the Vedas, the Shastras, everything, right from human beings downwards, everything came into the picture. Therefore, acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity, as enjoined by sacred precepts, are always commenced by noble persons used to the recitation of the Vedic chants with the invocation of the divine name Om. Remember again, Om, that which came out of the unmanifest, which created itself into some object, some the Prakriti by itself. That starting point is always called the Om. What came out of that? The act of sacrifice. If you remember sacrifice, again we discussed the sacrifice happens in the eye, in the ear, and every other place. We discussed it yesterday also. Okay, even in our mouth, in our stomach, everywhere the sacrifices happen. Again, I said yesterday about the bone marrow, where the blood is created. If I do not give the right kind of hemoglobin and various other things, iron and so on and so forth, calcium, then the blood will not get produced in the right form. So we have anemia, isn't it? So the god in that particular domain has to be given the right kind of food or the sacrifice, right? Even in our stomach, in a particular intestine, in the brain, in ear, in nose, in every other part of body, we have to give the right kind of sacrifice. So remember, the sacrifices came right from the beginning of time. That is where the Omkara begins with the word sacrifice, charity and austerity. We have already done austerity and charity now. I don't want to go back. So charity and austerity as enjoined by the sacred precepts. They have already been written down, and this is what you got to do, this is how you got to do, this is what has to be done. Okay. So everything has been written. Just imagine we are used to drinking only soft drinks, soft drinks, soft drinks, soft drinks, soft drinks. One day you are going, they will say, soft drinks, they will remove the acidity from our stomach. But they contain phosphoric acid. And that can cause us a lot of problem. Someday you will end up with a problem. So better have it in moderation. We discussed moderation yesterday. Today also I am telling you, everything has to be done in moderation. Don't do in excesses of anything. Only that which is required. Like we were discussing goiter or hypo and hyper yesterday we discussed. No excess and no less also. Everything in the right quantity. So they are written down. All these quantities are mentioned. How they have to be done is mentioned. When they have to be done is mentioned. Remember, it is mentioned the Surya Namaskar has to be performed early in the morning. Okay. Can I do it in the afternoon? Please don't try it. No, it is the Surya is already on your head. He may fall on your head for all you know. Surya Namaskar करता है साला डुम. उससे अच्छा हो तभी मत करो. So again, if you are getting up in the morning time and you're supposed to brush at that point in time, don't say I will brush in the afternoon. ऐसा तो नहीं होता. You got to do everything in the right time and the right place and the right. Everything has to be done perfectly in time and place. You got to do it like that. So, as always commenced by noble persons, used to the recitation of the Vedic chants with the invocation of the divine name Om. Everything starts with the word Om. That is the beginning, so everything has to begin with this word Om. With the idea that all the being belongs to God, who is denoted by the appellation Tat, act as a sacrifice and austerity as well as the acts of charity of various kinds are performed by the seekers of liberation, expecting no return from them. Everything has to be done with the idea of that I want to go towards liberation. That kind of nature you should always have. Why do you want to do this? So that I can get liberated, so that I can go towards self-realization. I can know myself. वो स्वार्थ चलेगा. Svarth, okay? That kind of thing you can do, not for the personal gains. So what is the idea? That everything belongs to God. Everything in this world belongs to God. Okay, only if it belongs to you, you have the ownership, then you can touch it. Okay, the God in you, if he owns it. Who is denoted by the appellation Tat. He is denoted by the appellation Tat. So God is denoted by this particular appellation, who owns this entire universe. Acts of sacrifice and austerity as well as acts of charity of various kinds are performed by the seekers of liberation, expecting no returns for them. So people, those who are seeking liberation, they are going to perform acts of charity and all kinds of things that we mentioned in the previous lines. Sacrifices, austerity, they are only for the purpose of liberation. Okay? The name God, the name of God, Sat, is used in the sense of reality and goodness. If you meet any of these Punjabis or Sadajis, they say Sat Sri Akal. They say these words or no? The word Sat comes from here. The name of God, Naam. Sat is used in the same sense of reality and goodness. The name of God is the truth. The truth is the name of God. God is the only true thing. Remember discrimination. That which is real from the unreal. Knowing the real from the unreal. So the real is only God alone. That is the truth. And the word Sat is also used in the sense of praiseworthy, auspicious actions, Arjuna. So this word Sat is also used for praising or saying, he's such a nice person or he's such a good person. And the steadfastness in sacrifice, austerity and charity is likewise spoken of as Sat. An action for the sake of God is rarely termed as Sat. So Sat has got so many definitions, where steadfastness in sacrifice. I told you, not extra, not less, right place, right time, everything has to be done, performed perfectly at the right place, at the right time, at the right motion. Everything has to be done in the good quantity. Okay, and only for the purpose of reaching the Godhood, which is what we did again before. What he says, we are doing all this expecting no return, correct? Performed by seekers of liberation. All this is performed by seekers of liberation. Okay, all this is done for no ulterior motive. Ulterior motive, it becomes rajasic in nature, correct? Or it becomes tamasic in nature. This is only purpose is to reach the state of liberation, knowing God, Sat, knowing Him truly. That is done with steadfastness in sacrifice. Austerity and charity is likewise spoken as Sat. An action for the sake of God is really termed as the Sat. All that you do only for the sake of God alone. See, God, Mother Teresa sees God in poor people, so she used to help them. Dalai Lama sees God in poor people, in his Tibetans, so he helps them. Same way, there are various other people who do see God in various things, so they help them. So we also need to look at this God, which is the Sat, okay, the truth. An oblation which is offered, a gift given, an austerity practiced, and whatever good deed is performed, if it is done without faith, it is termed as not asat. Therefore, it is of no avail here or hereafter. So kindly do not do any oblation, any offering that you are going to do to some god somewhere, or some puja or some part or some gift you are going to give for no rhyme or reason, for just for the sake of it, which is not going to give any fruits or benefits to any person. All that, and any kind of practice that is done by you just for some ulterior motive or reason, and it is not done for any good deeds, that is asat. But if it is done for good deeds, it is for the sat, and it has to be done with full faith. You are doing it with absolute faith, then only it will fructify into a sat. Otherwise it will be asat. It will have no avail here or hereafter. So that benefit will not come in this life nor in any other life after this also. Thus in the Upanishads sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scriptures of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the chapter 17th chapter entitled The Yoga of the Division of the Threefold Faith. Okay, so now is there any question? No question. Okay, fine. Om Tat Sat. So I can say bye to you.